Okay, now YouTube. So now we're going to transport from YouTube to Vivo to Comcast on PFG, ABF, and TNI results, and being able to transition a code board is is most likely what we want to do in our urban day outer city alliance at the time. So, that's just working with, today and outside world, working with the restaurants and entrance and, working with at least 68,808 houses at up to stock right now in 1948 to 2010. So, it's pretty much what we're learning for at the time. And, at the time, we just learned more of Incredibles, Monsters Inc., Madagascar, Surfs Up, Happy Feet, and it's just basically looking at those types of generations as you look at the type of chapters in a generation versus the chapters that made you laugh or the chapters that was fun versus the books that you read versus the chapters that that was funny in that book. So yeah, together you just doing a whole bunch of comparison, and that's pretty much what makes my company different from the next company. Is pretty much where you're using your own analytical sense versus intuitive form, and it's pretty much using the difference between TransUnion and MoneyGram. That's pretty much as long as their companies is not the same, my company is not the same. So that's pretty much we're using those two companies as well as EcoLeaf and PMC2 Square, which is not the same company as well, but it's coming from the same advertiser. So it's pretty much where you're just using more of Bill Worth a lot Industries and Enterprises more as it get more into contact with MSN, CNN, and Jackson Hewitt and AIG, and it's pretty much as you come into contact with those contents, that's pretty much what you're seeing as far as getting service and coordinates provided other than stock and trade or supply and demand at the time. So that's pretty much what you're doing is you moving 98,000 bigger items. So what you doing on a daily process that makes your day that difference your day from your career is you use bigger numbers to disperse the combined like terms or the separation of powers or the process of elimination or service of distribution at the time. So that's pretty much working with PMC2 Squared's multi-platforms as you figure out different trucks that'll take care of the job for you. So that's at least working with $98,000 being distributed and distributed to at least 978 different factories. That's what you're seeing here, 98,000 being distributed into 978 different factories at the time. So that's pretty much where you're using, at least $9 million a pair, compared to at least 9 million 15 times. So it's pretty much where you're just making a mass production of your day instead of it being of your career instead of it being a day. So that's pretty much where you're using yellow, red, and blue capital tyrannies to promote more for that common conflict that happens. So it's just turning your distribution services into a day of career at the time, and being able to turn your life around as far as you making, instead of making 9 secs you make 90 secs. So that's pretty much where you're making that $98,000 reference tax as you knowing where it goes and how much you're paying to it. So, as being able to make a bill note or a money order or a deposit form or a withdrawal form, or doing in that area. So that's pretty much practicing banking activities as you working with banking solutions and banking situations and banking centers, and being able to be in coolarized atmospheres with cool intercoolerant environmental fabrics at the time. Being able to know about environmental scents at the time. So that's pretty much where we learned more about environmental scents, and being able to know more about alloy and majority of that type of scent is pretty much what we're talking about at the time of being produced, and being able to enter your way into the building. This is just pretty much working on the addresses, uh, the addresses definitions, or decisions, or in that area. So that's pretty much where that goes. 78% of the time on orange, green, and blue statistics of 3.1. So it's pretty much where you're looking at 3 atmospheres versus four tropical titles in the area of 1948 and 1988. So it's pretty much where you're using more of your analytical sense to promote more for that advantage. And the thing is, that 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 978 is doing, whether it being ADP to restaurant to enterprise holdings. That's pretty much where you're going from ADP to enterprise holdings, and that's pretty much where you're using more transactions at that time. So it's pretty much as you go through the day or go through the week, you just putting more and more at that particular spot. So that's pretty much becoming a central market for at least those 971 different central markets at the time. Central markets, banks, and what else? Central market, banks, and restaurants at the time. So that's pretty much where you're using 98,000 to pay notes off, or pay bills off, or pay that random sum off that you need to pay off. So that's just going from TransUnion to MoneyGram, or MoneyGram to TransUnion. Whether you want to make a withdrawal slip or a money order, that's pretty much where you're using more of that straight cash financial support effect. So it's pretty much working with Spurs, Mavericks, Astros, Rangers, Celtics, Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets. So you work it in the area of Great Plains and Houston. So you're in the area, and you've been there since 2022. So it's pretty much where you practicing at least 98,000. Doing that. Going from New Braunfels to Dick Nichols at the time. So it's either Dick Nichols, Brentwood, or it's ball cones at the time. So it's pretty much where you're using more community village at the time, as you find a more local spot for lieutenant detectives at the time. And you get more involved with not just law, but banking, and it's pretty much majoritizing banking is pretty much what we want to be able to announce at the time. So, it's pretty much where we're working on, pretty much where you learning about banking and, being able to know about the the major districts that make those types of payments at the time. So, it's pretty much working with PMC platforms, PMC two square multi platforms as you figure out the stations or the districts that know more about the initiative of that interaction. So, all in all, that's just a look of EcoHerb 747. So, with all the transactions and all that good stuff. So all in all, you know, so all in all, you just looking for something that's gonna give you a good name or give you a good design or give you a good a good grip on to what you do on your everyday life that makes you more successful as you get more impassioned. And these are just the companies that we promote and we help out as far as giving them context clues or details depending on what specific entertainment that they have going on in their imagination, and when they sleep at night or when they're leaving home or when they're leaving work. It's basically where what you want to be able to entertain yourself with. So this is more of a local station for creation station where you can pick whatever you want and still go by your design, by what you want. And this starts in 2006 of 1985 to 2025. So it's pretty much where you got as much ranges to qualify yourself for whatever you want, and soon by the end of 8 months you'll be able to make your own division between what you want and how you want to interpret it. And that's what EcoHerb 747 does for you. And that's pretty much what EcoLeaf Make a Platform stands for, represents, and promotes for you in their computer science laboratories at the time. So it's pretty much looking at 1995 to 2075, and being able to understand more PlayStation 5's networks with Penske, OnStar, Austin Energy, and Austin Code of Austin Water, and Parks and Recreation Aquatics Division is pretty much where you're looking at that. And pretty much what you see when you see this is pretty much TransUnion. TransUnion makes the difference between the competitive animosities that go on. It determines more of the color tone. It gets more of the Austin Code. It gets more of the Max Preps. It has that good tradition within it, as it makes a good recommended common rate for what credit rates that it reminds you of at the time. So as using TransUnion Reflect to be exact. So that's pretty much where you're using your own company, your own compounds, and you're using your own systematic vocabulary and acknowledgments for that good stuff. So it's pretty much working with our own vocabulary of 95, 65, specifications as you get more bought out with these companies that you like, with the groups that they are. So it's pretty much looking at the group and being able to supply a bigger plan of payments, whether it's 3 or 6 payments. You want to be able to apply for something that you and your organization likes. And it's pretty much where you being able to pick something that you like, that your organization loves, more valence depending on what it is. It's pretty much where you got different depositions depending on what you like and what you want to depend on. And the thing about it is you can pick any one of them multiple times. So that's pretty much you got multiple times to pick whichever one you want, and work with the different midpoints on Comcast midpoints. So it's pretty much as you get more available towards that, and work with the midpoints on those characters, and that's pretty much a group inspired by EcoEarth 747 that gives you more midpoints of that local jurisdiction of 67, 97, and 37 qualifications within its area. So that could be 12 people, that can be 63 people, that can be 35 people, that can be 85 people. And the thing about it is they just need to give you at least 16 different 16 different reasons why that why why that midpoint makes a good subscription for this group at the time. So it's pretty much putting football in, and putting football in the play, and being able to calculate the yards on TransUnion Reflect. And that's pretty much where you're using that TransUnion Reflect for Comcast, Max Preps, and T-Mobile. And that's pretty much where you're using that detail, and being able to understand more of that capacity. So it's pretty much using U.S. charters and Comcast grid coordinates to talk about more of the aerospace or the band lines that go on during the day, and how it interacts with your experiences and overviews and reviews going on at the same time. So it's pretty much working with 2009 of 2022 of 2095 and 2022-45. So it's pretty much working with its deposition of purple, green, and orange. So it's pretty much where you're working with that organization of geometry and 9x+3 being developed at the time. So it's pretty much where you're working with those different districts of world history or geometry or MoneyGram, GameFly, and T-Mobile. And the thing about it is, you just mixing codes up at the time as you make 39,999.95, 12,300, 2,779.75. As you make those numbers like that, that's pretty much as you making codes for Awesome Code, Google Docs, Google Fi, and you figuring out different reasons behind what you need to do to make it a more prominent, successful slogan at the time. So that's just all a part of PlayStation Networks. So that's pretty much how I go. Other than that, you just add money, being able to be in those MSMRs. It's pretty much how the day goes everywhere. It's working on 68, 45, 34 days of my life. Working with, right now as this prominent career successes me on further. It's 900 from this place, that's 900 from this place, that's 300 from this place. So, that's actually getting your money back that you deserve when you spend that much. So, that's at least working with at least 90 million, after that program or that workout is over. So, it's pretty much working with 2006 to 2022 by the time that's over. So, it's pretty much working on it's pretty much working with dimensions with purple, green, and blue statistics as you work with 900, and work with $27,746 in tens. This is like hundreds versus tens. You're getting at least 10, 25, 30 out of 900 hundreds. So it's pretty much where you're getting that $35.99 payment coming from out of your $9,400 that you made before that. So that's just printing money at the end of the day. That's pretty much gaining money. You gain 3x. That's about 3,000. plus 3, you use 300 times 3 times 3 times 300 times 9,000 times 600. So that's pretty much where you just adding money at the same time, making a good difference between promotion and reference tax and revenue tax. So that's pretty much where you're using the difference between stock and trade at that type of variety of portions of 2012 to 2036. So that's pretty much just working with Shortstop, Whataburger, P. Terry's, Pizza Hut. So it's just pretty much working with that intent, put on there.